Okay, in this video we're going to talk about creating a feature spread. And what I'm looking at is a really basic magazine article layout. It looks perfectly fine if I had a news magazine and I was working on my normal interior sections. This might work really well. It's very functional. But we're going to talk about how to turn this into a feature article with a feature spread. And what I mean by that is we're going to make something that is more visually interesting, something that says to the reader, this article is special, this article is the focus of this issue, and that helps a reader as they're flipping through the magazine stop at the right place to read it. So those are our goals. That's the functions that we want. And we're going to do two different layouts for this. The first one is going to be a really simple idea that you see a lot. We're just going to have a full page image on the left, and then we're going to start the article on the right page of my spread. So I'm going to start by moving this image frame over to this page, pulling it so that it covers the whole page, and then I'm going to mess with the frame fitting and the scaling of this image so that it looks good. This image actually looks perfectly fine cropped like this. So something like that is good enough for this demo. Okay, now the thing that we want to think about is on this page, we would usually have a much more interesting type treatment of the title. And a lot of times on feature spreads or for feature articles, we will actually change the column layout to have a wider column, to have more white space. Again, we're saying this article is special, maybe it's more serious. We're doing some to kind of talk about the character of this article. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to page 2 in my pages panel, and I'm going to insert one page after page 2 so that I now have a blank page. And I'm going to start by drawing a new text box on that page. I'm not going to worry too much about where it is, okay? And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to get my selection tool, or hit V. And what I want to do is say, okay, this text box is threaded into these text boxes. So I'm going to click here. This box is where that red plus sign would usually be. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, join those together. All right. So this is now connected in here, and I'm going to play with this text box a little bit. And I want it to basically take up half of these columns on the sides, and my guides are going to help me get there. Okay. And now I'm going to delete these. I could style these, but I already have them styled outside of here. So for now, I'm just going to delete these. And then earlier I did this. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste that into my text frame. All right. So I would have, just double clicked and styled these using my properties panel, something that looks good. This text kind of says to me that this is fairly serious. I like that I have 2 paragraphs here. I might want to play with the size of these a little bit. So I'll scale them up just a little bit because we have a wider text column. So I need bigger text. And I'm going to say that I only want one paragraph on this page. And now if we look at it, that is a pretty nice feature spread. I've got a lot of white space. My deck is nice and big. I have a big visually interesting image here. And again, this is flowing straight into this, so everything is nice. I want to look at one other way of doing this, and I've already designed it outside. So I'm going to take this away. And another pattern that we see for feature spreads is an image with text over them. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that and paste it in here. And this is another style that we might see for a feature spread. You'll notice that as I'm laying this text into this image, I'm still thinking about my column guides. Okay, that's going to give my whole magazine a nice consistency. And you'll also notice that I've picked a very specific kind of image here. I've picked an image that has some really clear negative space to it. that is kind of a solid color or something that I can put text on top of easily, right? So this is a kind of image that you might be looking for if you're doing this kind of spread. And then obviously I already have my headline, deck, and byline there. So I might just start the article somewhere like this. Again, a lot of really interesting white space to this. This is visually arresting. It would make you stop. Other ways that we see feature spreads done that I won't talk about here are, I won't go over here. Sometimes we see this image span the entire spread with the title on top of it. So if this was a landscape image, I might do the same thing, find somewhere nice for my head and my deck, and then I would just go into a second page that maybe looks like this. Sometimes we see much more elaborate type treatment on these pages. You can find a lot of examples online of visually interesting feature spreads, but these are just two really simple ideas to get you started.